Mr. Kazmark, will you call the meeting to order, please?
Mayor, I'd like to call the meeting of December 4th, 2008 for the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council to order. On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Here.
Castiglia. Here. Conboy. McLaughlin.
Here.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Chewinski.
Here.
Mayor Mullen.
Here. Will everyone rise for our prayer and flag salute? Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting which we trust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whereas Chapter 231 of Public Law of the State of New Jersey requires at the commencement of each meeting a statement by the presiding officer, now therefore be advised that the meeting requirements of this meeting have been posted in an annual notice in the Record in the Herald News of West Patterson by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk as well as in the public place within the municipal building and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 1, 2008. These council meetings are viewed on cable television, and it's channel 77 or 76. The dates are Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Friday, 12:30 to 3:30. If you wish to watch it on our website, it's www.elmwoodpark, all lowercase, New Jersey, NJ, excuse me, www.elmwoodparknj.us. So you can watch it on our website if you choose to do so in the evening.
Mayor, first on the agenda tonight, we have meeting minutes from the regular meeting of November 6th, 2008, and a special meeting from November 13th, 2008.
Motion, please.
Motion, please.
Mr. McLaughlin, second.
Second.
Mr. Pellegrin, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Mayor, on second reading this evening, we have Resolution 32208, introduce 08-15 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance to Fix the Salary, Wage, and Compensation of the Officers, Employees, and Servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey. And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, November 13th, 2008, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance to Fix the Salary, Wage, and Compensation of the Officers, Employees, and Servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, pass on final reading, and we'll need a motion to open to the public.
Motion to open the public, please.
So moved.
Second.
Pellegrin, Castiglia, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on this ordinance alone? If not, I have a motion to close the public portion.
So moved.
Pellegrin and Castiglia, all in favor? Opposed? So ordered.
On roll call for adoption of ordinance 08-15, council members Catamagna.
Wait a minute, wait.
I'm sorry.
Any discussion by the council?
Yes, I'd like to say something. I missed the meeting when you guys discussed this, and I really didn't get a chance to review. Did you go by percentage, like 3%?
Yes.
Across the board?
Yes.
Is that what you did? Okay, although I'm going to vote against this because I feel that a lot of these people here, they're already making a lot of money, and that doesn't mean they don't deserve it. I think they do deserve the money, but the way the economy is, and we always talk about lower people's tax, property tax, I feel very bad to vote for this. So, and I ask maybe to freeze some of this. The mayor may ask me which ones you want to freeze. I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
Sure.
No, I don't want to, Mayor, because I don't want to cause any person. My feeling is they make a lot of money, a lot of these people here. And I see the teachers struggle for their pays too. So I'm going to vote against this, as I did last year too, if you recall.
Mr. Catamagna, can you elucidate as to which of the 6 people, there are only 6 department heads on this sheet, everybody else is just a regular employee. Can you tell us who who...
No, Mayor, I'd rather not.
Well, then how can you vote no on everybody? Mr. Kazmark is getting a 3% salary increase.
But
Is he
as you
not
know,
doing-
my vote doesn't mean anything, you know, you're gonna go for this. But I just want to say that, and I feel, you know, I don't think we should discuss people's salary here. You already did. And I feel I should vote no, and I don't think you should ask me any other questions.
Mr. Chewinski?
Well, I think, being that Frank wasn't in on all these discussions according to him, why don't we table this and get back to the work meeting on this? And you can get a second chance at it, and it's, you know,
If you wish to do so.
I think we should table it, and then we have time yet, right, Mayor?
Well, you do have time. I don't know if they have the time to make the checks out, but Mr. Catamania should have brought this up sooner.
You know, Mayor, if I may,
Yeah.
the 6 people involved here actually run the entire town. And they are, to us, I mean, they are as important as the council, maybe more important than the council. And for 3% raise, that's a competitive raise. Surrounding towns, most of them are getting more than these people. It's not right. They're doing a great job, and we want to keep them. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, one more thing. You know what's not right? Some of the contracts that we're locked into with our DPW and our police, they're almost 4% raises. So how do you justify giving them 4%, Frank, and not our department heads anymore? How do we do that? It has to start on the state level. I agree with you, sometimes it's too high, but it has to start on the state level. We don't have the control over this exactly, just these few people, but you're going to have your workers making more than your department heads.
I know what you're saying,
Would
Rich,
you want to
but
be a department head and make less than your workers?
regular workers, they don't make $100,000 or
Most of your police
$77,000.
department's making that, Frank.
Mayor, I'm not saying
Half
the
of your
police department, they
there's only one salary
they
here
get paid a lot of
on
money.
one.
I agree with you. They get paid a lot of money, police,
I
yes.
think we should discuss it now.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Mr. Chewinski. We
There's
have
only one-
DPW, the superintendent is making as a raise as much as the people below him. His raise comes out to just about the same thing, and they get overtime. He doesn't get it.
All right, Mayor, but the thing is that the other people, in order to make that kind of money, they have to work many overtime hours. That's the difference.
No, I have their salaries here, Frank. They're making 69,000, 74,000. We have one person making 80,000. He's only making 86,000.
And DPW, somebody makes 80,000, it's a lot of overtime.
Well, that's his salary.
Sorry.
That's his salary. The overtime is on top of that.
These people are there 25 years.
And the superintendent doesn't, he's out there with them, doesn't make overtime.
Well, other than
I
that-
think if you want to say no, please help us out and say who doesn't deserve it, because DPW is getting 4%. Police are getting 3.95%. We're giving the department heads 3, and they're running the whole show. Mr. Kazmark, if you don't mind me using your name, Mr. Kazmark?
No, sir.
He's getting $77,000 with this ordinance. He's here for all our meetings. He doesn't get paid extra for this meeting. Any overtime he doesn't get paid, etc. I think it's
But,
grossly...
Mayor, you're the one who complained about Mr. Casimir made that kind of money a year ago, and now you justify the easy. Okay. You remember that?
Well,
You say, you Democrats
hired him.
appoint
I
him,
think
you
everybody-
hire him, you have so much money, and now you're changing the tune.
I agree with you. I thought the amount of money that Mr. Kazmark earned when he was hired was more than I anticipated. However, he's worked for a whole year. I would suspect he deserves a raise like everybody else.
Mayor, I just,
You know,
I'm here
I just don't understand.
to
you know,
fight you guys, because the only thing I want to say is, we have somebody at the rec center for $10,000 cheaper, and now we give this lady $10,000 more. I mean,
Mr.
we can talk here all night long.
Mr. Catamagna,
I just
please.
disagree with this
It is, Frank.
payments. They are, a lot of these people make a lot of money. And my feeling is, a lot of people are unemployed today. People lost a lot of jobs. And here we are increasing people's salary. I'm sorry, I still vote no.
Mr. Catamagna,
No, that's...
the superintendent of recreation, he's got the job. You voted for it. You voted for her salary.
Mayor,
Now you're complaining that she's
Let's-
getting too much. Let me finish, please.
Yeah.
Last year, you gave 7 people down at DPW a $1,000 raise. That's $7,000. That's as much as we're going to be paying 2.5 of these people today. You hired 4 more people down at DPW last year. Was it needed? You hired 4 more people.
Mayor,
Plus you gave the raises. Now you're picking on the
let me answer
department
one at a
heads.
time.
Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you.
but Mayor, don't ask me
Excuse me.
20 minute questions.
Now
One
you-
at a time, let me answer you. We hired 4 people at DPW, was not our idea, was a superintendent idea, they needed more people. And then tell people, these people that we hired, they only make $25,000 a year. Okay?
Mr.
We're talking
Cat-
about being fair.
Mr. Catamagna,
And I don't know who those people are anyhow.
please, don't say it wasn't your idea, it was the superintendent's idea. You vote on it.
Hold on, buddy.
So you approved his idea, only $28,000, that's $100,000 that we're paying in the budget. Now this year's raise, and $15,000 each for benefits. So you have 4 people, 15,000, you paid $100,000 and another 60, okay? That's $160,000, and you're worried about, do you want to reduce this to 2%?
If I had my way, I'd reduce more than that.
You don't want to give him a raise?
No.
Can you name, and no one here is worried.
No, Mayor, I'm not gonna name anybody.
Well,
Just-
you know,
this
I
is my-
I think you're arguing as a political purpose because you want to come out and say, I was against the raise. The police chief got a 4% raise.
Let's not talk about politics, Mayor. That's over.
Politics, you're
November
politics.
4th was over. Let's not go over that
Well,
again.
I would suspect that if the DPW superintendent didn't get a raise, he'd say, I don't need this job. I can work where I was and go overtime and make a lot more money.
So what? There's a lot of people who need a job, and they take a lot less money.
That's terrible.
No, it's not terrible.
If you want to
It's
table
not
this,
terrible.
I don't know, he refuses to tell us who doesn't deserve the raise. No one deserves the raise. No one.
I don't want to table it. I think we discussed it. I think.
Went over it several times.
Yeah.
Well, then I want it on the record, Mr. Caramagna doesn't want to indicate who should get a raise or who should not.
Mayor,
None of our department heads are qualified for a raise, even the 2%, even the 1%. He has indicated here at this meeting that no one is supposed to be getting a raise. He doesn't want to give anyone a raise.
No, I didn't say
They're
that,
going to be
Mayor.
working as volunteers pretty soon.
Mayor, you put words in my mouth.
Yes, I
I know
am.
somebody here on this list here that makes over $200,000.
Who?
He takes care of 3 different towns. He's a full-time here, full-time field, full-time representative.
No.
How can it be that this person is 3 full-time jobs? Come on, you asking me to argue this, I don't want to talk about it. Listen, it's
Please
only one
talk
vote.
about it.
You got all the vote, this is your
No.
way, vote any way you want to, go ahead.
No.
But don't tell people you're very frugal.
If somebody's working,
Only with your money you're frugal, not with the taxpayers' money. People should know that. Mayor.
did I vote for 4 new council,
Don't
DPW
give me that,
workers?
man.
Did I vote
It's all over, man.
to give people a $1,000 raise last year?
Mayor, didn't you
Did I
vote
vote
for-
for it? Did
did
I
you-
vote to hire?
Oh, you don't
7
vote. You
Did I
don't
vote
vote.
to hire
Mayor.
8 new policemen?
Mayor, you don't vote, you know that. That's the way you get away.
You do. You hired 8
Yes,
to 10
we
new
vote, the
policemen.
council. Mayor
Mr.
doesn't
Catamagna,
vote.
you
Only
don't say-
votes if it's-
You're not
there's a
running
problem.
next year and you're going to say, I believe the people deserve a break. Well, you're
People
going
do
to cut
deserve
the
a break,
department
yes.
heads, and I think
Yeah, I will
that's
do the
terrible.
best I can to save the people money.
You have your
A lot
own
of people
business.
losing their houses, Mayor.
This whole,
I'm lucky I have a
this whole thing comes out to $15,000.
He has a job, you have a job, Councilman, and you mentioned in your argument about teachers
Anybody invited him
struggling.
to
You
talk,
get,
man?
excuse me,
This guy-
are you finished?
No,
Am I allowed to
no,
speak?
no, if I talk out of turn, the mayor shuts me up. This guy can talk
We
anytime
went
he
through
wants
that last
to.
time.
Nobody shuts me. Yeah.
No, I just want Mr. Conboy to say something. Go ahead, Mr. Conboy.
If no one else is, Councilman Catamagna makes the argument that teachers, in part of his first opening statement, that teachers are struggling. Do you not get a raise every year? You have a contract, sir. These individuals, more than half of our employees in our borough have contracts, almost 90%. It's a high number.
Excuse me, let's correct this. Teachers don't have a contract this year.
Let him
Oh,
finish,
because
please.
you're currently working on a contract, but you're gonna get a contract, because your contract
I'm
year
sure
is
they
up.
will, yes.
Please.
I'm not in
Your job is
negotiation.
protected, you got seniority, you have everything. Don't say that you're struggling. Yeah, this is...
What do you want?
If the motion is still on the table, to table this,
No,
I'll
there-
second that
There
motion.
wasn't any motion. There wasn't any motion. I'd just like to finish up in saying that next year we have a salary contract for department heads. I would assume Mr. Catamagna will vote no on that. Following year, he's got a 3-year term, So in 3 years, department heads will not get a salary increase.
Oh,
Is that correct, Mr.
You're gonna vote for it. You're not gonna listen to me.
Well, if you're not voting for this one, you're not going to vote for the next 3 as long as you're up here.
You never
That means
know.
a department head will not get an increase for 4 years. 4 years. Doesn't make much sense to me.
Okay.
I think a 3% raise for these people is not overbearing since they do not get overtime, and their salaries are already low. Already low.
Mayor, next year, for the salaries, we can put Councilman Caramagna's salary towards it, since he's giving it back to the borough anyway.
That's interesting.
With everybody else also, and give up the health insurance.
Okay.
I don't take health insurance.
I just think this is ludicrous that these...
I didn't make a campaign promise I'm giving back.
Okay,
mine.
gentlemen, I think the next 4 years,
Okay, take your...
department heads, Mr. Kazmark, don't expect a raise for the next 4 years if it's up to Mr. Caramagna.
I hope we're not tabling this, because I think we talked...
Well, no one's made the motion.
No.
Well,
Take it back.
I hope we
That was
don't,
a
because we
motion,
talked about it in length, and I think the majority here all agrees that the
Okay.
department deserved it.
Mr. Truinsky
One vote,
asked for
that's it so
a
far.
table, and he didn't get a second, and if it is tabled, I don't know if they can get the checks ready for them to come out.
Mayor,
As
if I-
review
if I-
it.
We should withdraw, we should
Mayor, if I may? Obviously, the council, it is the council's prerogative to table this, should they elect to do so. However, I would caution the council that there is only one pay period, which the checks will come out on December 19th, before the close of the calendar year. So I would ask them to consider that before they made their decision.
Okay, we have it, Mr. Truinsky,
I think I'm going to withdraw that, Mayor, because,
you want to table it?
no.
No?
No, I think we've
Let's
discussed the
vote, let's vote,
subject
because by the
many
19th,
times.
it will be too late. It won't happen.
All right,
We're out of time,
I think
don't
we can obviously see the political show of this, no salary increases for superintendents, and everybody else gets it. The police have their 4-year contract, DPW has their 4-year contract, and our department heads who run the town are getting 1% less than everybody else. So we're not giving them an enormous amount of money. As a matter of fact, there's only one person who's making $101,000, has been here for years. Every one of the other department heads are making less than $90,000 a year, and almost half of our police department's making over 100.
Can I just clarify one thing, if
Yes,
I
sir,
may?
ma'am.
Just the one comment that was made about one of the department heads that has a job also somewhere else. That individual, I've seen him here on weekends, late at night, again, Saturdays, Sundays, so he does get his hours in. He's very efficient. He does a lot for this borough. He's very accurate. And for one, I know the council is also very satisfied with his work, or he would no longer be here. So just because someone may not punch in exactly 9 to 4, it doesn't mean that they don't spend hours here on weekends or evenings. And to me, it's important to get the job done correctly. It's not exactly so important if they're here, which hours they're here. It's getting the job done and being professional about it, and that's what I think we have in that employee.
Ms. Pellegrini, I think that department head punches in and punches out.
I know they do, but I know sometimes that they come in on weekends if they're somewhere else during the day for a couple hours or
Oh, yeah.
whatever, but they exceed the amount of hours that they do have to work here. They're always here,
And
and
if
they
some-
put in a lot of hours.
And if someone works in another town after hours, that's his prerogative,
Well,
we can't do anything.
Not only that, Mayor, sometimes like I'll call the borough clerk on a Sunday with something and he'll pick up the phone.
Yeah, you frighten
Or I'll
them.
call our CFO on a Sunday, he'll pick up the phone on a Sunday and call me back if it's an emergency or something. And that has a lot to be said. And even when they were in Atlantic City, they returned my calls.
You know, Mayor, I'd like to make one more last comment. if I
Last
may.
comment.
I'm sorry to prolong this any longer. It's unfortunate we have to. There's nobody else in this room that can speak from the chair that I'm speaking from. I'm your finance chairman. I think I've done a great job this year working with every member of this council. But one thing I could say about it that nobody else in this room I don't think can say, and hopefully you can't say this, I recently became a victim of a casualty of our current economic woes. And I've had to make financial decisions in my household so I can take care of my family. These individuals we're talking about here tonight, these are department heads who, particularly like our superintendent of DPW, he doesn't get overtime. To give him this 3% of the salary when he's got subordinates right behind him making what he's making, and anybody else on this sheet, Mr. Kazmark is always available, and there's many others. I'm not going to name all of them. But for us not to do this and not to all vote unanimously for this, it's a shame. And I know it more, hopefully there's nobody else in the room in my situation, but not that I need to share that with the whole public, but It's just unfortunate we're not all voting here unanimously tonight for this, for folks who are sitting home, worrying about the economy and everything else. Sorry, Mayor. Thank you.
That's quite all right, Mr. Conboy. I did make a mistake. There are 6 people on this list who are department heads. 6 times $3,000, talking $18,000 for 6 people for the whole year.
For the whole year. That's what we're talking about.
And then we're going to say we have to cut
$18,000
back.
for 6 people.
I want to see us cut back on some of the other things that
That's what
we
we're
did.
arguing about.
Call a roll, please.
On roll call, council members Catamagna,
No.
Castiglia,
Yes.
Conboy,
Absolutely, yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Truinski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 32308, be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the collector treasurer is hereby authorized to make the following transfers as per instructions from the chief financial officer as follows. This is a transfer resolution, so from group insurance, we'll be taking $33,500 and applying them to fire department other expenses in the amount of $10,000, streets and roads other expenses in the amount of $15,000, streets and roads $5,000, municipal court operating expenses $3,500. From police salary and wages, $148,500 will be applied to police other expenses in the amount of $15,000, police vehicles in the amount of $3,500, landfill in the amount of $20,000, postage in the amount of $5,000, legal services and costs in the amount of $5,000, admin and executive other expenses in the amount of $100,000, water utility will be taking $40,000 from Social Security and applying for that $40,000 to the water operating O&E. It'll total out to $222,000 coming from certain line items to that amount being applied to other line items. And Mayor, if I may take the liberty of just explaining the $100,000 application to admin and executive other expenses. We have bond notes that are coming due that we will have to pay for. Roy and I we met on this and made the determination that we would transfer that to my line item and that we would pay those bonds off through there.
Thank you. Motion, please.
So moved.
Pellegrin.
Second.
Castiglia, discussion. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Truinski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 32408, be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the following bills be approved for payment and that after the vouchers have been signed by the necessary chairman, the collector treasurer shall issue warrants in payment thereof when there is sufficient funds available to meet them. Total from the current fund, $133,902.64. From the trust account, $472.50. Capital, $44,955, and water, $820.40.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Ms. Pellegrin, Mr. Truinski, discussion. Call the roll.
Council members
Excuse me.
Catamagna.
Somebody already voted on this.
Yeah, that was copy and pasted, so we're gonna,
Say that again.
See if yours clear? Mine says we already voted.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
what
Is that a mistake or
what happens, Councilman, is the bill list is amended each time, so the vote is
Okay.
still reflective of the
All
previous
right, my vote
time.
is yes, yes.
Council members Catamagna votes yes. Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Truinski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 32508, whereas NJS 40A:4-87 provides that the Director of the Division of Local Government Services may approve the insertion of any special item of revenue in the budget of any county or municipality when such item shall have been made available by law, and the amount was not determined at the time of the adoption of the municipal budget, and whereas the Director may also approve the insertion of an item of appropriation for an equal amount. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, hereby requests the Director of the Division of Local Government Services to approve the insertion of an item of revenue in the budget of the year 2008 in the sum of $4,073.48, which is now available from the State of New Jersey Division of Criminal Justice 2008 Body Armor Grant in the amount of $4,073.48.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Pellegrin, Mr. Truinski, discussion. Call the roll.
Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Truinski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 32608, whereas impaired drivers on our nation's road kill someone every 30 minutes, 50 people per day, and almost 18,000 people each year. And whereas 28% of motor vehicle fatalities in New Jersey are alcohol-related. And whereas an enforcement crackdown is planned to combat impaired driving. And whereas the season at the end of the year is traditionally a time of social gatherings which often include alcohol. And whereas the State of New Jersey, Division of Highway Traffic Safety, has asked law enforcement agencies throughout the state to participate in the Over the Limit Under Arrest 2008 year-end crackdown. And whereas the project will involve increased impaired driving enforcement from December 8th, 2008 through January 2nd, 2009. And whereas an increase in impaired driving enforcement and a reduction in impaired driving will save lives on our roadways. Now therefore be it resolved, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park declares its support for the Over the Limit Under Arrest 2009 year-end crackdown from December 8th through January 2nd, 2009, and pledge to increase awareness of the dangers of drunken driving. Now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park declares its support for the Over the Limit Under Arrest 2009 year-end crackdown from December 8th through January 2nd.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Ms. Pellegrin, second. Mr. Chewinski, any discussion? I just would like to salute the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, who continually endorse items such as this to stop drunk drivers. It's terrible how many young people and adults get killed by people who are imbibing, and then we have to live with the consequences. 50 people a day is absolutely amazing. 18,000 in 1 year. In 1 year. When you consider how many people have been lost in the war in Iraq, and I'm not defending that or saying anything positive or negative, I'm just saying we lose 18,000 people here a year just with drunk driving. An outstanding, abominable figure. Call the roll, please.
Council members Catamagna?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy?
Yes.
McLaughlin?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Chewinski?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 32708, whereas the tax collector has advised that payment has been received in the amount of $6,880 to redeem TTL 08-00001 and subsequent taxes on Block 103, Lot 1 within the borough. And whereas Plymouth Park Tax Services is the holder of certificate TTL 08-0001 and is therefore entitled to payment of $6,888. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, that approval to issue a check in the amount of $6,880 payable to the above-named lien holder representing the redemption amount of said certificate.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Ms. Pellegrin, second. Mr. Castiglia, discussion? Call the roll.
Council members Catamagna?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy?
Yes.
McLaughlin?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Chewinski?
Yes.
Mr. Kazmark, the next three, instead of reading each one, just indicate that who the holder is, and we'll put the resolutions 32908, 3008, and 33108 on a single resolution, if it's okay with everybody?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Mayor, Resolution 328, the redeemer is Robert Rothman, the amount of $36,294.27. Resolution 32908, Pam Investors, in the amount of $10,026.31. Resolution 330, Amico, $9,090.57. And Resolution 331 is JN Properties, $14,308.71.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Ms. Pellegrin, second.
Second.
Mr. Castiglia, discussion? I just want to indicate to everyone here that the taxes for these have been paid, and then the tax holder or the lien holder gets a percentage of interest on it. So it's not coming out of our tax money. We're collecting the taxes, and now the individual who fell into difficulty has to pay the interest on it. Call the roll, please.
Council members Catamagna?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy?
Yes.
McLaughlin?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Chewinski?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 33208, whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park are desirous to pay down the outstanding compensation time accumulated within the Police Department, and whereas the Borough continues to aggressively pay down the outstanding compensation balances owed to the individual police personnel, and whereas this payment inclusive will result in 100% of the compensation balances that are now paid. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, that the Chief Financial Officer is hereby authorized to pay out the sum of $157,471.04 as per the attached spreadsheet.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Ms. Pellegrini, second.
Second.
Mr. McLaughlin, any discussion? I was just...
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I think this is good. This is the end of the compensation, that's it, right?
Right.
This is we're all done with this.
Thank you. Mr. McLaughlin?
We had started this 5 years ago, this is the fifth year, and to prevent, would the policemen get compensation for this particular year at this year's salary, and if they have 15 years to go to retire, this all adds up, and at the end of the 15 years, that's what they get paid on this basis. So we're paying them as they earn it, and we started, this is our fifth year, and they have absolutely, at this point, no comp for next year at all, so we caught up with it. So that could really help our budget for next year. In fact, I spoke to the police chief just before we got here, and their budget looks excellent for next year. They have one of our biggest tax problems, really. Thank you.
Yes, I'd just like to jump on what Mr. McLaughlin has indicated. It was a 5-year contract we had. $20,000 a year we would pay back for compensatory time. Over the years, some of these compensatory days were not given to us up here at the council. They were accumulated down in the police department. And when we found out how many days of comp time some of the individual officers had saved up, it came quite high. So over the last 5 years, we've been paying them back 20% a year. And now the police chief has indicated to us in writing that all comp time must be used within the year. No extra money. They just, if they work overtime, unless it's overtime, but if it's compensatory time, they will get the time off without any salary increase. So this is $157,000 that we will not have to raise next year, and it also would help our department and our borough. If and when any of these individuals retire, they're not going to go out with a package that's like a golden parachute. They've been paid the money now, and if they retire in 10, 15 years, they're not going to get that higher salary for the days that they have. Call the roll, please.
Council members: Katamani?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Tomboy?
Yes.
McLaughlin?
Yes.
Pellegrini?
Yes.
Chewinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I do have to indicate also that this is one of the items that we negotiated with the police in their contract this year.
Resolution 33308, whereas 534 Elm Street has an escrow balance of $641, and all associated fees have been submitted, and therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the Chief Financial Officer is hereby authorized to issue a check from account number 776-0155-222 in the amount of $641 payable to Elmwood Realty of Fensack Avenue.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Chewinski, Mrs. Pellegrini, discussion, call the roll.
Council members: Katamani?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Tomboy?
Yes.
McLaughlin?
Yes.
Pellegrini?
Yes.
Chewinski?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 33408, whereas Boswell McClave Engineering has submitted a proposal for the construction, engineering, and inspection services for the construction of the DPW salt shed facility. And now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that Boswell McClave Engineering be and is hereby authorized to perform the necessary engineering services for the construction of the DPW salt shed at a cost not to exceed $32,000.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. McLaughlin, second.
Second.
Ms. Pellegrini, discussion.
Yes. This is for Boswell service, right? $32,000?
Yes.
Again, where are we going with this? This engineering, you probably say T&M. T&M is not my family. T&M was introduced by the other two Democrats, and I thought at the time it was a good idea to employ them. They also made some mistakes, we all know. But to pay these engineers so much money, is that better than we hire our own engineer to give somebody a full-time, maybe give $100,000 instead of these people walking away with the $700,000, million dollars?
That could be looked into. However, they'd have to be told they're never going to get another raise as a department head. You won't support them, so that if they
You know,
you pay
Mayor,
them
you know,
$100,000.
Every time I talk, either you make fun of me.
No,
or
because,
you're
Frank,
a wise guy. Why don't you be normal?
I am
When you
normal.
talk to me.
You just said
I'm a human
department heads
being like
aren't going to get a
anybody else.
raise, and you want to hire another
You get smart
department
all the
head.
time, you know? That's why I
wanna-
say Caramagna walks away from you.
Okay,
Why can't
I just want to
You
tell
don't show any manners at all.
I just want to tell you this, Mr. Caramagna. I have in front of me the bill for T&M, for the salt shed that they proposed. $40,000. It's not even being built. We already paid them $40,000 for the salt shed that you wanted for $450,000. We're getting this one for much less, and now you don't want to pay the engineer who's going to design it. We have $40,000 paid for a salt shed that was never built.
Doesn't justify. Even if they want $50,000.
You justify
So what?
why
This is
you-
$32,000 here.
You justify why you paid
How much you going to pay for the entire shed now? We talk about $300,000 when we're supposed to get one for
No, it wasn't 300.
$30,000.
What was it?
280 some thousand dollars.
275.
And you guys talking about only spending 50,000. Just put something temporary over there to save money. What is it?
If you want me to explain it, or you think I'm being political?
Okay, what you say, go ahead.
Okay?
Hey,
The shed is inexpensive. It's all the work around the shed, all the developing around the trees and everything else that costs the money. And what we pay T&M is $40,000, and that wasn't even included in the ancillary items developed with putting the shed up. So if the shed was up, the salt shed for $450,000, by the time he included everything, could have been $600,000, and he would get a percentage of the $600,000. Mr. Caramagna, if I may, and I know it's Christmas time, but I'll take leave of absence on the Christmas spirit at some time. You know, you complain about these things, and you don't do your research, and you wanted a shed that was bigger and more was big.
Go ahead, call me again incompetent, you always do that. Go ahead. I
you
did my research, Mayor.
Can you tell me?
You always told me T&M.
Can you tell me why you voted to spend $40,000 for a shed we didn't build? Tell me, you know, and I'm not saying you're incompetent, I never used those words.
Yes, you did.
No,
It's also in writing.
no, it's
in
not.
your newspaper.
I never ever will call
I'd
anybody
like to show you
incompetent.
the article, it was yours, last year. I saved it, Mayor. Don't worry about
Last year, when I was running against you?
it. Yes, ma'am.
Well, you tell me where I have my
Your friends in the park.
printing press in my basement. That was in your article this year.
It was not?
Go to Moeller's house, he's got a printing press in his The only thing I have in my basement is a computer, and a
Mayor,
wash machine and a dryer.
your wife owns a printing company, not the
No,
print
no, my wife does not own a printing company. That's why I said you don't review your facts. My wife has a small advertising company. It's not a printing company.
Okay.
She works on a computer, and she does public relations, which 99% is volunteer.
Mayor, doesn't your wife write all the literature for
And
the
what are you
Republic of
picking on my
Ireland?
wife for? She doesn't have a printing press down the basement.
Can we get
You
the
know,
meeting
you
over with?
understand, you know, Mayor, if I may?
Yes.
We, at a meeting we had when we awarded the bid, we walked through this entire project when we awarded the bid, which is $275. At that point, we said the salt shed's gonna be about $86,000. All the prices were there. And Councilman, I know, everyone's always picking on you. You agreed, oh, that's good, because your salt shed was
I didn't
$550.
agree. I thought it was too much money the first
You
one.
voted yes to
and
award
second
the
one
bid.
was too much money.
You voted yes to award the bid to the,
Look,
to the
I
people doing
complain a
work around the
lot.
parks
The
right now.
engineering
I hate to
team,
interrupt you,
what do they
gentlemen. Call the roll,
do in
Mr.
order to do
Kazmag.
this drawing? $32,000.
Don't give him the floor.
Call the roll, Mr. Kazmark. I don't want to ask how much
I
T&M...
have respect for you.
I don't want to ask Mr. Caramagna how much T&M
I know you're
contributed to his
just mad
campaign
because
this
you don't
year.
even know why.
Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members
No.
Campagna, Castiglia,
Yes.
Conboy,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes,
Pellegrini,
Yes.
Chawinski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 33508, whereas the Borough of Elmwood Park pursuant to NJSA 40A11-12A and NJAC 5:34-7.29C, may by resolution and without advertising for bids purchase any goods or services under the New Jersey State Cooperative Purchasing Program for any state contracts entered into on behalf of the state by the Division of Purchase and Property in the Department of the Treasury.
Call the motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Pellegrini, second by Mr. Chouwinski. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Council members Catamania?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy?
Yes.
McLaughlin?
Yes.
Pellegrini?
Yes.
Chouwinski?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, we have reports from the Police Department and the Department of Public Works.
Motion to receive and file?
Motion made.
Second.
Mr. McLaughlin, second Mr. Chouwinski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So
And we have
ordered.
raffle licenses from St. Leo's Home and School and the Elmwood Park Junior League Incorporated.
Motion, please. Same thing, Mr. McLaughlin, Mr. Chouwinski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Committee reports, Mr. Catamagna?
You said Christmas spirit. I just don't want to spoil this. I keep my comments for some other time. But I have a lot to say to you, Mayor. But I just want to wish everyone Merry Christmas. Let's stop this. And the other thing I want to say, I want to thank all those who voted for me November 4th. I appreciate them. And also I want to thank my running mates. They didn't make it, but they did a good job. And congratulations to Mr. Huesino Luis, congratulations. And Richie Tominsky, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Okay, and everyone, Merry Christmas.
Mr. Conboy?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. First, I'd just like to congratulate our high school football team on an outstanding football season. I believe they ended up 5-5. 3 years ago, if you just looked it up on the internet, the football team was the holder of a current unfortunate record. That coaching staff and the men, the young men in our high school, and all of the parents should be very proud of themselves and how they've turned it around in such a short time. So, congratulate to all of them on a great season. If you haven't already seen the flyers, those that are here and those that catch us on TV, basketball registration for the recreation is still going on. So please, if you didn't register, get in there and register to ensure your child gets placed on a team. This week, on Monday and Tuesday, on 2 different nights, they hosted the soccer awards party night. It was very nice, very festive. Our rec director, Ms. Pugliese, and her staff did a great job decorating the gym and made it look very festive. The children were very happy with their awards and so forth. So, nice job to everybody in the soccer program, all the folks who support that, and all the parents and all the players, and another great season. This Friday is our tree lighting ceremony here in town. I believe the festivities kick off around 7 o'clock when Santa will make his first appearance to the children during this Christmas season. Also, on a side note, something that will be coming forth to the council, something that our DPW superintendent has been working on, something that has been talked about for many years, and he's also working with our liaison, our Councilman Castiglia on this. I was able to see the blueprints this week of finally an irrigation system on Borough Field. It's been talked about for God knows how long. It's going to become a reality. Our DPW superintendent, Mr. Cars, has gotten great bids, and I think this is something we can do, and I'm working with the financial officer when it gets presented to the council for something we can do, and finally have some sprinklers and so forth going on at Borough Field to help try to keep the grass strong and going there, since it is a central part of town. Children will play on it. If you look at it now, it's kind of dusty in the middle, but we're working on it, and hopefully it'll become a reality for the spring. Also, we'll be, for the council, as we move forward past the holidays, we'll immediately get right into the whole new financial process for next year, and I'm looking forward to all the great ideas and things we can explore together as a council to how we can make those changes in our budget for next year to help all the residents here in town. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor, excuse me, can I ask a question to Mr. Conboy? There was a soccer award 2 nights ago,
Monday and Tuesday.
and then Tuesday. Because I met this guy here, his name is Eli Garcia Jr. He was very upset because his 2 kids were not invited to the award. I guess we have a party, pizza, whatever it was. He was very, very upset, and they say, why? Maybe they don't like me, why my kids?
Mr. Catamagna, I would hope that we would discuss that in private.
No, maybe
I've been putting names in there.
Okay, if he wants anything made public,
you
it's fine.
know anything about this?
Well, Councilman, Mr. Eli Garcia runs the soccer program. Mr. Eli Garcia knows about the party, helped plan the party. Letters went to every child who's registered for soccer. Based on the turnout, and with about 300 plus kids in soccer, that's why it had to be done in 2 nights. I'm surprised to hear that Mr. Garcia told you he didn't know. He runs our soccer program. And on Monday night, I saw Mr. Garcia there.
I saw him 2 days ago, give him a note here. So I give it to you, maybe, hey, look, I'm asking you the question. I'll get you the answer, no problem.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Progress, Mayor.
Ms. Pellegrin?
Just a couple things. The week of November 17th, I attended in Atlantic City the League of Municipalities. They have a lot of classes that you go to and learn different things to help your community out. I attended the Joint Insurance Fund class, and they talk a lot about safety, how to keep our employees safe, and which saves the town money and keeps them safe. It was a very informative session, and for each council person that goes, we get $250 for the town. And I know we all go. They'll have another 1 or 2 classes during the year, and the rest of the council will go. So that's a great thing. Not only do you learn, but you get some money back for the town. And I have some more stuff to share about that. I have pamphlets from them. And at the work meeting next week, we'll talk about it a little bit more about exactly what they discussed. So I'll give you some more information. Also at the League, last public meeting, we brought up the holiday decorations, and Tom, the finance person, was questioning the amount. And I met with the vendor down there, and we do have a meeting set up for December 10th at 2 o'clock. And we will discuss the fees, and hopefully we can get the fees down. But I did tell him that, you know, with the economy now and everything else, there's a lot of questions that council has, and we definitely want to speak to him about that. So we will be meeting with him, and hopefully something good will come out of that. And at the last public meeting, I spoke about the parking lot across from Gilbert Ave School. A lot of the parents were complaining about, you know, holes in it and everything. It was hard to park there. Scott Cars did go over again. He regraded it again. And since then, I see a lot of cars. I go that way all the time, and there's several cars in that parking lot now. Part of the reason is because of street cleaning there, they did put up a sign now limiting some cars parking there on Wednesdays at certain hours. But also, I think that cars are parking there more because the parking lot's in better shape. So I want to thank Scott for tending to that, and he is keeping a close watch on that. So I think some of our residents' problems there with the parking will be addressed through his efforts. So I want to thank him. And that's it, progress.
Thank you, very good. Mr. Chewinski?
Yeah, a few short things. I assume we'll be going back down to the county this year for the park
Yes, we will make a
Does that
monthly
have to do-
trek, I hope.
for a couple months, I guess. I attended the Board of Ed meeting. They finally have their appraisal on the property on Lee Street, which they're reviewing, and we should be getting that soon, which we were going to try to look into the county funding it and the Green Acres program. Also at their meeting, if anybody's ever tried to call down to the school system, they have a new phone system they put in use, and it seems it's not working too well down there, because even our school superintendent admitted on tape that he can't even reach his principals during the day from this phone system. Nobody picks up the phone. It goes right to voicemail. So if emergency, they could never get a hold of anybody, and they're starting to look into doing something different at that point. On another note, I got another call on that North Street and Franklin debackable that's been going on with the drainage to know if we're still working on it. I got an email, and yes, we are. Pete Temkate's been working diligently on that, and it looks like it's heading in the right direction as of this past week. Pretty soon we'll have some answers and some drainage being put in. Downstairs in the police department, they're working on the evidence room. They're redoing the doorway and putting back the sheetrock that we had to take out for the French drains that were in, and putting some new lights and some wiring in there. And last but not least, I'm going to keep pressing Bob Gordon on our DP permits for the brook. I'll make another call to him this week.
I'll make you happy before the meeting's over.
Okay. All right, Mayor.
Christmas early.
Yeah.
Mr. Castiglia?
Yes, Mayor. Kip Avenue, the new water main down on Kip Ave and the resurfacing of the road, that's going to be going out to bid either this month or in January. We have a community development block grant on that for $205,000, so that work will probably be starting in the spring. Let's see, the sidewalks around Birchwood and Elmwood Park, they're just about finished. And the parking spaces over at Pine Street, the ones for Borough Field, and the additional parking spaces they're making over at the Gold Street Park. That's, well, they're waiting for the gravel to settle right now. Then they're going to go back in and put the blacktop down. That takes a little while. I wanted to mention also, I don't know if I'm correct on this, but the fire department had their, the coin toss, I think right after Thanksgiving. I believe they have another one coming up, don't they, on the 13th? So the 13th of this month, it's a Saturday. They'll be out on the corner of Broadway and the Boulevard again, so take a ride past. It's a big part of their revenue for the year, so we're going to try to help them out as much as we can on that. Let's see. Lorraine mentioned the Gilbert Avenue problem down there. People were calling up. Like she said, the teachers weren't parking in the lot. Well, most of them were, but the lot still had parking spaces in it. They were parking on Gilbert Avenue in front of the residents' houses. The main problem was the street wasn't getting swept, the leaves weren't being picked up. So we put emergency parking signs out. First, we just from Spidell after Vivney for the first week. It was emergency no parking on Wednesday, and the street cleaner could get past and the leaves were picked up. So it worked well. I got calls from the people closer to River Drive. They wanted to know why they weren't included. So now it goes all the way down to River Drive. It'll only be for, I believe it's 2 more Wednesdays. We're going to have to do something permanently down there, but for now it's a temporary fix.
And, Larry?
Excuse me, let him finish his report.
No, I just want to say
Let
something
him
about the
finish his
lease.
report and then I'll...
Well, all right.
Can I say that?
All right, let me just get to the planning board a little bit to keep people up to date on businesses that are coming and going in town. Let's see. Up on Broadway, everybody remembers where the Elmwood Tavern used to be. It's been, I guess, 2 new restaurants a year going in and out of that place. It's going to be a restaurant again. It's going to be a Peruvian restaurant this time. So, you know, it's in town, so maybe we should go there and, you know, it's local. So,
Patronize them.
yeah, try to patronize the local businesses. Maybe we can keep them going a little bit. I think it's been a restaurant changed hands 3 or 4 times in the last 2 years. Right next to that is going to be a tile showroom for kitchen and bathroom tile. They're not going to be selling the tile. They're not going to be storing tile in this little storefront. It's just going to be for you to go in and look at the tile that they sell, samples. Try to get an idea for your kitchen and bath and order it from them. It'll be coming from a different warehouse. They won't be stocking it there. Phone. There was one other one I wanted to mention. No, I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it, man.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney?
Oh, Frank had a...
No,
Oh,
can I
I'm sorry.
reply? Last week, you know, we put signs at Ryan Gilbert from 9 to 11.
9 to noon, I think.
The sweeper came at 8 o'clock in the morning. So,
8 o'clock. You want to be early. He didn't want to miss the window.
Well, hopefully there weren't any teachers there at the...
That's a good...
not too early for them to be there.
You have any?
Didn't wake you up, did they, Frank? Thank you.
No,
Okay.
Okay.
I'm in school already.
The sweeper does go through several times in its cycle. They usually go through, then if leads get picked up, they come back again. I know I see them within our section at least 3 times.
In my report, Mr. Chewinski, I got a call late this afternoon after you and I spoke to Mr. Tenkate about calling up and getting the DEP to respond. He called up, and when he went back to the office, the permit was there, so we'll be calling up the Mosquito Commission to clean out the brook after all this time. Plus, I did receive a letter from the Department of Transportation, 2009 municipal aid for the Boulevard Section 7 has been approved for $200,000, so we're going to be continuing on that area. I hate to be a dog with a bone, but I found some other material I brought here. The department heads, I won't tell you who they are. One is getting a $2,200 raise, another's getting a $2,100 raise, another one's getting a $2,100 raise, a $2,100 raise, and a $2,200 raise, as opposed to some of our members of one of our other departments who's getting a $4,000, it's not the police, $2,800, $2,800, $3,000, $3,200, and $29,000. These are not department heads. So our department heads are getting an average of $2,100, while our employees are getting an average of $3,000. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair.
You're right.
I think the salary we gave the department heads is fair, but considering they're the leaders of the community, they're getting less than the people that they are supposed to supervise. At this time, that's the only good thing I have. We're still working on a few other items that we'll be discussing.
Oh, Mayor, if I may, how much was the permit? Did they say it? Tell us?
No.
What the cost was on the permit?
And what'd they say, 6,000 or 7,000?
Okay.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak? No one wishes to speak at this time, so I'll close the public portion. And before I call for the meeting to adjourn, Mr. Catamagna, I'd like to tell you I'm waiting in bated breath as to what you're going to have to say to me before the year's out on some of the things that I've supposedly been doing. But as I've done with many people over the years, if I see something wrong, I speak out, as I know you do. And I just thought that this was a poor situation for the leadership of the community. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.